Christopher Bell got the win, as I mentioned. This was a good shot in the arm for this team because he even said it post-race. They've had a rough 8 weeks.
It has been a rough 8 weeks. And when you look back at those 8 weeks, I think there was still the thing that I always would tell people when we would get in a slump like this, where you just have bad finishes and pit stops and crashing and things happening. When you've got cars fast like his, you're okay with it, right? You know you're going to get out of that slump. If your car's not fast and things aren't going good and people are fighting and whatever's happening in the middle of your team, it is tough because you know that you're also looking for speed while you're in that slump. Those guys weren't looking for speed. And he led 90-some laps, I think actually 90 laps this weekend, and ran up in the front the whole race and had a good solid weekend. Now, if we run the rest of the race, does he win? I don't know. But he was in the front all night. And I think finally for those guys, they had some good fortune, put everything together and kept themselves in the mix all night and were able to capitalize on a moment when they canceled the race. So I felt bad for him afterwards because every time they would talk about something from Victory Lane, we were still in the booth. They hadn't sent us home early.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were already back at your house, probably.
Yeah. No, hadn't gone home. Still in the booth.
Still there.
And the crowd was not pleased. They were booing the crap out of him in Victory Lane. I felt bad for him because he didn't really do anything wrong.
No, that's a bit surprising.
Yeah, I think they were probably just mad that the racing was over.
They were mad.
Because
yeah.
That was one of the best crowds I've seen at Charlotte. Maybe it was. I was out in the parking lot with folks. They were having a great time. You looked up from the infield and just like the sea of people, and everyone was having fun. The infield was fun. But to your point, like Christopher led, race high 90 laps. At least someone didn't steal. I like it when I don't really love it when someone steals one when it comes to weather. Like you can kind of sometimes you see someone jump from like 15th. Because of weather, and they do like a 2-tire or don't stop.
Right.
And like it's kind of cool, but it's also good when the person that's leading a lot of the race, dominating the race, finished out in front when the weather comes in. So
yeah, to Kevin's point, he had led a lot of laps, so he was very much in the mix. Now, the other biggest story I would say from the weekend was Kyle Larson. We've been talking about this a lot over the weeks, running the double with the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. Respectable finish. Obviously had a speeding penalty, which took away his chances probably with a top 5. But this was fun to watch. He made it back to Charlotte in time, but not quite because then the weather arrived and it was just a bad.
I saw on social media the other, his post of the reaction of everything that he said, and I just feel bad for Kyle because it doesn't sound like he had any fun because I think he took the burden upon himself to go out and perform and do all the things, which he's going to naturally do that. And I know he had that burden, but it just seems like he was much more vocal about the pressure that was on himself and the things that he was feeling than he usually is. And, but, I think for me, Kyle Larson is Kyle Larson, man. You just go do the things that you're doing and you can't control the rain. You're going to make some mistakes here and there. Nobody around you is going to think any different. You're already doing things that are just out of this world spectacular. Jumping in an Indy car, never wrecked it, ran in the front of the pack, had an opportunity to show his talents, just doing what he did, showing up. And then, he was going to come back to Charlotte and have a chance to finish that race out. Obviously, it rained and he wasn't able to start the race. Justin Allgaier did a great job.
Yes, he did.
I think he was running 13th.
Yeah.
And, he figured out the car, and Cliff kept talking to him, and, they kept getting better and better and better. But, they had a fast car. It was an unfortunate circumstance for Kyle all around, though, just with everything that all the effort and time that they put into it. But
it is unfortunate.
I hope he does it again so he can actually do everything.
I'm sure that he will. I mean, talking with people at Hendrick Motorsports yesterday that actually did the double with him, they were like, pretty much worst case scenario. What could have gone wrong went wrong. And apparently the rain has followed him because you updated us.
Now he's in Iowa and it's raining again.
For the test.
So
poor guy.
And it's just a lot like Christopher Bell, right? He goes through those 8 weeks where nothing seems to go right, crashes, pit stop, whatever, he's making mistakes, whatever those things are, nothing's going your way. And when you get in those slumps, you just feel like the world's against you and, are you doing something wrong? And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and things go your way and you win a race and it seems like it all never happened.
But how much cross-pollination do you think there was in terms of the attention that Kyle Larson brought both to the Indy 500, bringing a lot of NASCAR fans went out to watch him, and then vice versa of how his performance over there helped NASCAR.
I think Kyle doing both the dirt fans. I think are the big ones that show up to watch Kyle Larson do other things. Like that's his real fan base. And I think they got a lot, like IndyCar got a lot of those fans that don't normally probably watch IndyCar, as well as obviously the NASCAR fans. So it was great. And I keep hearing murmurs that more guys want to do the double. I know Kyle Busch was actively talking about doing it. Ryan Blaney. I find it interesting. And I don't think and Kevin, you tell me what you think about this. I don't think that this would go very well if an IndyCar driver tried to do the double from their side to our side versus our guys going from our side to theirs.
I would agree. And I think the Kyle Larson effect is very much in effect. I think when you look at the IndyCar souvenir sales, I read that he was the top seller. Yeah, I'm sure he was the top seller at the NASCAR race, or if not, right there at the top. But when you look at the TV ratings from All-Star Race, when you look at the TV ratings for the Indy 500, you see the effect that Kyle Larson has on people and viewership, and because of the things that he was doing.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.